extra time.
Obviously, this year, Prasid did quite well in the recent ODIs. We had Shubman Gill as well. So now being their skipper, did you have any conversations with them?
Yes, I did. Our Prasid's debut on the way after the toss, I went and congratulated him and then said, today's a special day. For me, debuts are they're not entirely about the player. They're about the bigger picture, the family, the friends, the journey that the player has been on, all those volunteers at club cricket or coaches or within the town or village that you live have all made contributions for you to get there and made sacrifices of different magnitudes. So it's a celebration of that achievement, but also the recognition of the start of your next journey. And it was great to see Prasid go out there and represent all of his family, but India and do well on top of that. I think Shubman's in a little bit of a different phase than probably Prasid. He obviously has played quite a bit and gone and experienced an overseas tour and probably one of the more difficult overseas tours in Australia, and come back with a huge amount of confidence, having been a successful campaign. And it's an extremely healthy Indian pool of players to be a part of. So it's an achievement when it's within itself to be selected in their side.
Right. Another question that a lot of people have been asking, it's one of those things that Shayok has also sent across. How's your hand right now and are you feeling fine?
Yeah, I feel a lot better than I did probably a week ago. The plan moving forward is to remove the stitches tomorrow and then progress my batting in the coming days and over the week, and then fielding at the back end of that. And given the time frame that I have available to me, it's looking good, very good.
How do you rate or assess the variety in KKR spin department, which has obviously been very impressive in last season as well, and specifically someone of the caliber of Harbhajan Singh joining us this year? What kind of role are we looking at, and overall the spin department of KKR?
Yeah, I think adding Harbhajan to our squad has strengthened it in a really, really good way. I think when you look at it, our spin department as a whole, on paper, it's one of the best in the tournament, and that's factual. You look at the options that we have and the conditions that we might play in, probably particularly in Chennai, which notoriously can turn or at least raise the eyebrows of our spinners, which is hard to do. So it's an area that I think if we play well in the tournament, I think our spinners will have bowled well and contributed in that regard. And I think similarly to our batting unit, I think if we have a really good campaign, I think a lot of our players will contribute and have big impacts in the tournament. Because like I mentioned, our squad is very well rounded and particularly in certain departments is extremely strong.
Last year, obviously, we tried quite a few batting combinations of moving people up and down the order, and we saw you at number 4 as well. This year, is there any specific plan that has been addressed or spoken about yet?
So we're all actually due to get together quite soon towards the end of the week, in which we will discuss all of our plans and thoughts and actually talk about our strengths as a squad and as a team. And I think the one positive amongst others last year was the versatility within our middle order and the flexibility to either promote Sunil or promote myself or DK. The strength within that middle order is, if we play well, there's a lot of teams that will not enjoy playing against us. So as it is one of the strengths of our side, we need to make the right call in when to play the best hand, and that's one of the things that we learned from last year.
Obviously, in this recent stint of yours, we had it in the UAE, and this year again we're not playing in the Eden. But then in your first stint, obviously you played a lot of cricket as a knight in Eden Gardens. What's your take on missing out on the fans back home in Kolkata this year?
Yeah, it's an incredible place to play cricket. mean, I've experienced it a lot over the years, and it's certainly it's an advantage to us. We have some fantastic fans who love watching us play the cricket that we do. But given the current challenges that everybody face around COVID, I think it's both the right decision for everybody's health and safety, and obviously it's at no advantage to any particular team in the tournament.
This year, obviously, you'll be leading the team from the beginning, and also having had a good auction this year, what we have is a more balanced team, is what most of our fans and everyone would like to believe. What's your take on having a very strong bench strength and at the same time having a very strong 11 as well?
I actually think it's incredibly important, because in the IPL is the biggest tournament in the world that has the best players. So like Venki has mentioned, it is highly competitive. And I think one of the challenges throughout either a competitive campaign or a successful campaign is the battle with injury and illness along the way. And whether you like it or not, it does happen throughout a season. So planning needs to be put in place in order to strengthen your squad in all areas. And I think we did that this year at the auction, which we're hoping will best position ourselves to both have quite a versatile team when it comes to selection, but also have strength and depth if needed.
লেটেস্ট নিউজ আর এক্সক্লুসিভ ভিডিওর সঙ্গে আপডেট থাকতে এখনই সাবস্ক্রাইব করুন আমাদের ইউটিউব চ্যানেল। বেল আইকনে ক্লিক করতে ভুলবেন না যেন।